Well, I mean, listen, they're key drivers for our team, so it's going to hurt without them. They talked about this with Marshy. One of the reasons he's in trouble is he pulls people into fights. He's a competitive guy, second and third effort. That passion, that's why you get asked sometimes, well, how do you deal with it? Well, we don't like when he's suspended, but we sure as hell would rather have him out there with that kind of passion and pull us into the fight tonight, because there wasn't much of that tonight. I'll give Charlie McAvoy a ton of credit. He's one guy that tried to step up, play hard, clean, got challenged, and there was just not enough pushback. So how are we going to weather it? We're certainly going to need a little more pushback from guys that are expected to bring it and some other veteran guys that might not, but have to step up in their absence. And we were lacking both tonight in huge quantities. Upper body, I don't know how long, Steve, right now. He didn't return, obviously. Not his head, but so we'll see in the morning where he's at.
Bruce, can you put your finger on the trouble that the defense seemed to have as a whole against their forecheck tonight?
Well, they made some bad first pass decisions, right? Behind the net, you look at the third goal. I mean, it's a D to D. The guy's right. I mean, he's covered, right? Can't go to Charlie, and now we lose a puck battle on the wall, which is the next part of the equation, right? Against this team, you have to win races. You have to win puck battles, right? We've seen it now 3 times. They've been heads and tails better than us in those departments, but that's where it starts. So soft clear in front of our net. You got to be harder. Skate it out to trouble. That's just there's a little bit of that. The guys, those are in the moment plays that you just. With guys that have been in the league, you just need them to be better, to have more composure, recognize situations. It's going to happen from time to time to any player, especially against a team that pressures you, but it happens too often to our group, and they just going to have to figure it out a little bit, and we're going to have to help them figure it out. But at the end of the day, these are situations that happen in a game where you've got to make some smarter, better decisions. It cost us against Pittsburgh, and there was a few plays tonight. No, he's not traveling to Ottawa that I'm aware of. We come back from Ottawa, so I assume he'll travel to New York next week, but that's getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Do you address this with your team slightly differently? Because you've talked about the structure with your leadership group. The guys that are part of that, a lot of the guys that are part of that aren't
well, there's leaders in that room. There's enough leaders. Charlie Coyle's a leader. Carlo, McAvoy, Pasternak, we've put A's in their sweaters. Taylor Hall's been this. He's an MVP of this league. He's 30 years old. These guys, need to take charge in this situation. If they can't see what's in front of them, then shame on us, honestly. I mean, it's that simple. And they could have in the power play tonight. They weren't very good to start the game. We were into it physically, draw a couple of penalties, get them off their game. Maybe it's a different game if we take advantage of special team situations. They get on the power play, score an easy one where we leave the net front wide open. So, I mean, a little bit that's where the game got away from us. Our actual first 5 minutes start in terms of trying to establish, physicality territory was on time. We just didn't execute after that or take advantage of what was in front of us. These are hard games against Carolina. Guys going to have to realize that you want to win in this league, you got to be prepared to play the hard games and play the right way. And I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup from night to night. Berge shouldn't change another player's approach, how he's going to play the game. He might get less responsibility, but shouldn't have changed his approach on how to play.
Kind of piggybacking a little bit on that question. Of the 26 wins, I believe it's 6 have come against teams that are in playoff position. How much of a concern is that?
Well, I said at the start of the year it's a concern, and it'll continue to be a concern until we get better at it. Now, we did get better at it for a stretch there. Obviously not the last 2 nights. If you want to advance, you got to beat good teams. You got to learn how to play against good teams. And I feel we lack a little bit of that. The character, the instinct part, the digging in against good teams. It's harder. It hurts to win. It's harder, and we don't have enough of it. And we haven't against some of those better teams. Now, sometimes the team is also just better than you in certain situations. Is that the case? That's certainly a discussion point. Carolina clearly is. They beat us 3 times. I don't want to go through every team because we just played Carolina. I'll say that. So we have to obviously play better against them if we have any chance. We don't see them now for the end of the year, but we may see them in the playoffs. You know, if we get our game to where we need it to be, then that's what will be in front of us. And guys, like I said, it was addressed. They know they're not stupid players. They understand what teams are good, what's required. It's just getting it out of them and getting it out of themselves. And that's where we got to do a better job, both as a staff and players.
Why do you think Hall and Pasternak, that line, struggled to create offense tonight?
I don't think they attacked well enough and played off the shot. I think they were looking to make extra passes. The team reloads very well. We put Jack in there later a little bit to see more about, you know, it wasn't going our way. You can get a sense sometimes, okay, you know what, let's, you know, it's a big ask of Jack. Let's see how he responds with, you know, with high-end players and, you know, just a tweak. We'll go back to Holla there. He's done a good job there. It was less about him, more about we might as well look at Jack.
Anything else? Thanks, man.